super glad I found the arcane bird hanging with blue.
Hello. Okay, let's run it from the top. So welcome to the jungle. This is the channel where we take a very simple approach to technical analysis. We look at the price in the context of volume using the Wyckoff method. If that is something that interests you, then hit the subscribe button or leave me a follow on Twitch. So today is the final day for you to become a member to the private island. So if you're in the Discord or if you're just joining me for the first time, I've been advertising this for about 10 days. The prices, the rates for the island are going to have to increase. So we're in the final hours now. If you've been on the fence, it's time to make a decision. So without any further ado, and sorry for that little mic mix up at the beginning, but we are going to jump into the chart. So I want to talk about Bitcoin. I want to talk about Ethereum because we're pretty much in reconnaissance mode right now. We're trying to ascertain if we're going to take another leg down or if the levels that we're at right now are going to hold as support. So taking a look at Bitcoin, we've been giving a lot of time for these candles to develop. So, you know, here we are. We have a low and we have technically a lower low, but we've kind of reached this line of support. So this automatic reaction line, we kind of drew the bottom of the range down at this wick, and we're now closing candle body. We're holding 4-hour candle body closes above that. We're getting above my 147 EMA on the 4-hour. So yeah, if things are looking good, we can also, whenever we're at support, I try and find some sort of factors that are building the bullish case that we are in fact going to hold that as support. One of those things, one of those tools, one of those tricks that I like to use is I like to look for bullish divergence. I don't use divergence too much, but I specifically like it when I'm trying to confirm a support area. So we've come down here for a test, we've come down for another test. This is technically a lower low as far as the candle body closes and the wicks, and we have a low and a higher low. So there is a bullish divergence occurring on support. This is very good. You want to see the disagreements in the lows. So it's indicating that we could in fact be setting up for a support range right here. So those who are in the private bear den have already been making this kind of assumption, or just speculating in terms of what we might be looking for in terms of a trading range, and a lot of people are calling for a reaccumulation after decline. I think that that is very valid. So you can maybe drop a horizontal ray down at this level right here, and we could be setting up to consolidate within this lower end of the trading range right down here. Let me just get my brush tool on. You know, something like this where we break above and then make those higher highs and higher lows. We're in a bull market. This was a shakeout, but the shakeout resulted in a higher low. You know, I'm seeing articles floating around where people are calling for a bear market already. You can't call a bear market when all you have is a higher low. It's a higher low. We're still increasing in value over the long term. So, you know, I am, you know, technical analysis, it's about picking a side. It's about picking a side, holding a bias, and figuring out which way you want to play the potential direction. It's not a crystal ball. It's not always right, but the way that I'm playing it, depending, based on the information that I'm seeing in the chart, is we've made a higher low, we're holding as support, we're in a bull market, I am positioning myself to the bullish side. I took another spot position inside of Ethereum today with a cash holding as well, in order to grab some of the if there is a failure of support, I've got it down at about $1,000 to catch a falling knife. Now that's kind of not a typical strategy that I employ, but I'll take Ethereum at any discount if it does in fact happen. I've also purchased at these levels here down at this area on, well, all of the charts kind of look the same right now. It's the same sort of story inside of Ethereum. I did a lot more analysis on Ethereum, but let me just released this to the private members today. We're kind of inside of this ascending channel. We were overbought and we wanted to continue higher. We just didn't have a nice commitment to the upside. A lot of rounding over potentially UTAD, but it's too early to call that. We've just gone back inside of the range. Again, a bullish divergence occurring on the lows. So potentially we do get some structure change and we get some higher highs and higher lows coming in on the short to medium term on Ethereum as well. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. All my enthusiasm and facial features with no audio must have looked pretty weird. Okay. Hazan on One Crypto, nice to see you again. Which two higher lows are you comparing when you say higher low? Well, I mean, structurally, we have not changed anything on Bitcoin. We're in an uptrend. Here's the low. The low is down at $30,000. Until we break $30,000, we're not in a bear market. That may be a bit of a tolerance that you might not be comfortable with, but we're talking macro structure. The macro structure is just fine. The macro structure is just fine. We're getting a nice daily candle print on print here. A lot of buying pressure coming in. But yeah, it's higher highs and higher lows, and we're going to continue that trend till the trend changes. So that is what we're seeing on there. Let me go and let's take a look at what's going on with the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, because we've been comparing this one. We're looking for an LPS to start to form. I've been watching the 3-day chart on this asset. And on the 3-day chart, oh look, we just kissed the 147 EMA. For those wondering why the 147, that's kind of a weird number. When you're on the daily charts, the 147 EMA is the 21-week moving average on the 21-week EMA. So it has a lot of confluence in many time frames. It's kind of that flip from transition from bearish downtrend to bullish uptrend. It has a lot of confluence on a lot of time frames. So I like to use that EMA. I don't use many indicators. I really focus more on price structure. But, having a little bit of confirmation bias is nice every once in a while, but you won't see me doing MACD or anything like that. So it looks like we made a higher high, we've come down, and we're looking to find support on top of this level right here. We need to get what is called an LPS. Last point of support. So we need to get an LPS forming here, and then if we can get a higher high off of that, I think that that's going to really prove a lot of the momentum potential inside of Ethereum that some of the OG whales are probably waiting for. A lot of institutional investors, their alpha is the US dollar, and we've seen a lot of the US dollar pairs play out, and we've seen that already occur. But there is still huge whales in this space. There are several wallets that hold over 1,000 Bitcoin, and they don't take trades without solid confirmation, and they want to ensure that they're not wasting their time by trading altcoins when, if you look at this chart, it's basically saying that you could hold Bitcoin and you could hold Ethereum and you'd pretty much be up around the same amount. So it's not until this chart starts to really outpace Bitcoin that you're going to see some of the whales come out and play. Some of the OG Bitcoin whales come out and play, and that's there's a lot of liquidity locked up in Bitcoin. As we all know, it's the top cryptocurrency by it's like 67% of the entire market is Bitcoin. There's a lot of money there. There's a lot of liquidity. Okay. Which phase are we in right now in BTC, in your opinion? We are definitely in phase E. We are in the markup phase. The accumulation was a multi-year accumulation inside of Bitcoin. Let's just quickly go over to the BLX. Brave New Coin Liquid Index. This is markup. We're in markup phase. This is phase E. If we're talking about a reaccumulation, as far as the local move, it's phase A of a reaccumulation. But on the macro, this is phase E. We're in markup. We have already accumulated for several years. The big players, the institutions, the whales, everybody who is bullish on Bitcoin for the long term has accumulated inside of this range, and they're now locking up the supply and holding for markup. But if we are talking short term, as far as this move right here, we're in phase A. Phase A is where you set the range. So we're just looking for information. That, you know, I'll repeat it again. We're really just trying to get a lot of information coming in right now. So if we drop down to, we'll just revisit Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin. Let's go down to the 4 hour. You know, we need confirmation of this trading range. It's too early to take a position, bullish or bearish. Yes, I took an additional position in Ethereum that is not technically based. That is fundamentally based just me wanting to buy Ethereum. It's completely separate. I do dollar cost averaging, as a lot of you I'm sure do as well. It's a very powerful strategy to just have a certain amount of your earnings go into your investments, whether they be cryptocurrencies, whether they be like Roth IRAs, whether they be RRSPs, whatever investments that you're taking, you know, you consistently build those positions over time. I'm no different. Mine's in crypto. Okay. Hey, Beastus123, how's it going? All right, so let's take a look at some of these other performers today. So 1inch got some bullish news. I think they're on Binance Smart Chain right now. The 1inch chart is kind of weird. I have not made up my mind on this chart just yet. There is a likelihood that this could be an upthrust. The volume is very inconsistent. We had a huge run inside of 1inch, and you know, the fees weren't, they're not what they used to be, and I don't really understand the utility of using 1inch on Binance Smart Chain. You know, we have Pancake Swap, we have Burger Swap. It's not offering any sort of advantage on Binance Smart Chain, because Binance Smart Chain is already really cheap fees. But yeah, we're gonna have to monitor this one and see what happens, because it is quite a recovery. But yeah, it's you know, it's quite volatile. This is a definite sign of weakness. We are kind of increasing the spread of the lows. So if we just grab a line tool here, you can kind of see we're kind of opening up to the bearish side inside of 1inch. So, you know, I had a position, I ended up selling some of my position just to stop and profit, and I don't think I'm ready to enter anything just yet inside of 1inch. I'm gonna monitor this one a little bit closer. Hello, were you already at the high point of the third cycle of Bitcoin? Yes, I've been in Bitcoin since 2015. So I have seen cycle top, cycle bottom, cycle top, cycle bottom, and I kind of got in at the real, as the momentum was entering 2 cycles ago. Okay, so. Okay, altcoin in an interesting accumulation phase? Yeah, but they're kind of boring. You know, we're watching Reef right now, so Reef is kind of in an accumulation, which is rare. These are few and far between. A lot of hype on Reef, which is interesting because it doesn't have the price appreciation to really go with the hype, but we're making higher highs, we're making higher lows, and it's consistently building wealth over time. So you just kind of monitor Reef, and you know, there's nothing bearish on Reef. I have a bit of a position, not a huge position, but I've got a position in Reef. So they are out there. What I recommend that you do is, whatever exchange you're trading on, make a watch list for that exchange and just get all the assets. So I'll real quick show you, like, let's say you're trading on Kraken. So I've made a watch list, Kraken USD, okay? And this is all the assets that are on Kraken. So you can just cycle through, look at the ones that pumped, look at the ones that may be in reaccumulation, look at the ones that are in accumulation. A lot of the stuff's already come up quite a bit and it's already come back down. What's this one? File. Or no, that was ETH. Yeah, ETH. I'm bullish on ETH. ETH looks very good. Yeah, so, get your watch list built based on where you're trading, and then just siphon through all the setups. When you see a nice setup, or when you see like a range bound environment that may be increasing in volatility and making higher highs and higher lows, that's when I recommend that you go and do the fundamental analysis. A lot of people, especially new investors, it's a very exciting and innovative space. So you start, reading white papers, you start seeing all these different projects and what it is that they do, and you really focus a lot on the fundamentals, which is great. Research is really important, but if there's people that are in the asset that is willing to sell, or if the asset's in a downtrend, the asset's in a decline, you need to know where you are. Start with the technicals. Start with an environment that is favorable, not one that's parabolic, but one that is making gains over time, one that, maybe not a lot of people are talking about. Find these charts first, then back it up with the fundamentals. What is this project trying to do? Is this project going to shape the future of decentralized finance and peer-to-peer commerce? These are the questions that you have to ask, and you got to really do it in that order. We're in the speculative stage of the market, so that's kind of nice because you're able to make a lot of mistakes, and you don't necessarily have to hold those bags of mistakes. But be careful too, because the risk to reward ratio is decreasing over time as this market progresses. We're definitely above the value zone. If Bitcoin were to make a peak somewhere, let's just say Bitcoin was, the peak is 50K, we're going back. If that is the cycle top, we're probably going back down to 10K. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying that, as this market progresses, as we go higher inside of this market, your entry gets closer and closer to the top. Those of us who have been around for a while, those of us that have been accumulating Bitcoin ever since, anywhere above $9,000, we're in a very good position to be able to handle a lot of the volatility. But, those that are just getting into the space, you really need to focus. You need to educate yourself. Join the private group, join VIP, if not for, the coin calls, at least just kind of getting a better handle on the market. A lot of these coins move together. When we're in a bull market, everything kind of moves. When we're in an altcoin season, everything kind of moves. So you don't really have to, pick the winners so much as you just need to know what stage of the market that it is that you're in. So, that would be my recommendation. Okay, what else do we got? What is performing well today? Let me get off Kraken. There's not enough on Kraken. 1 inch is up 26. Engine coin has had a good move. Okay, so we're range bound on Engine. Interesting. Yeah, you know what? Engine could have a bit of an opportunity. It hasn't gone crazy parabolic yet. We've kind of, we have one base here. One base, potentially two bases. You want to see this asset get above here and hold a successful test. Make sure that this test holds. Make an entry above that buy. That would be a good entry. We kind of missed the opportunity to buy the spring down here. When you're in reaccumulation, if you kind of know the asset, you can kind of take those risks, and when it breaks the lower end of the range, you can take a position. But otherwise, usually you're buying the backups as we start to make higher highs. So Engine looks okay. Any recommendations or anything you guys want me to take a look at? Okay, well, while you guys are thinking of assets that you would like me to take a look at, I just want to remind those of you who are coming from the private group, just a reminder that after the stream at 1 o'clock, we're going to be doing our virtual classroom. So every day, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I do these Twitch streams, and immediately after that, you can join me in the virtual classroom where we can go over the peer review charts, as well as some of those charts that you want clarification on as well. Just another way for you to kind of get a handle on the market. Let's go ahead and take a look at GRT. I think I promised that one in another one of my streams, and I just never got to it. So let's go ahead and take a look at GRT. Don't need that line there. So GRT, there is this kind of support / resistance area that I would like to see it get above. If we take a look at the RSI is in confluence, so there's nothing that says that we can't take another leg down lower. I want to, if we do take another leg lower, I want to see this area right here hold as support. If we are unable to do that, expect more downside inside of GRT. We could actually come down to the area of the breakout down here, somewhere around $1, just over $1. That's kind of bearish. What I would like to see is us kind of form a little bit of a pennant and get above this area of support, and then kind of get above the box and take another move to the upside. I think the fundamentals on GRT are unique, and there's not a lot of projects that are offering the same sort of blockchain services that this project is offering. So it's kind of an interesting project. For those who don't know, it's basically like a Google for dApp developers to kind of index a lot of the code and protocols. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I understand code or anything, but from what I understand, it's a way to kind of consolidate a lot of information so that the coders and dApp developers have a pool of information that they can use to build upon. It's not unlike the invention of the calculator, really. Before the calculator, you had abacuses and you had to do everything manually. Then you had the calculator and it already had everything and it did everything. So this is kind of like having the code in one place so that you can just grab a piece of code and build upon that code. That's at least my understanding. Okay. Give me some reef charts. 40% off stack there. We just did reef. When is ADA going to dip? If you're looking to get into ADA, just be careful with Cardano. So Cardano has made a promise for smart contracts. We did have an ease of movement inside of this one, so we called this in the group. We got a successful test like we mentioned yesterday. So if you missed yesterday's stream, this is why following YouTubers, following Twitch streamers is tough, because really you need to learn how to see these things yourself, because at any given time, you can see these signals. At any given time, you can see these opportunities as they present themselves. I mean, this was an 8-hour window for you to see this successful test and then take a position at this break. So right now, we're seeing bullish follow through inside of ADA. So we may not get a dip. We may not get a dip. Okay. Okay, Avalanche. Yes, Avalanche is one of my experimental plays. I think the Avalanche ecosystem has a lot of friction right now. It's not an easy protocol to use, but it looks like we're getting a little bit of a double bottom here on some bullish divergence, so that is very good. We can clearly see a downsloping line of resistance here, so I'm really going to keep this one quite simple, and I'm just going to go with this downsloping line of resistance. And until we can get above here, we don't have a buy signal. So if this can remain range bound in this area, if we can keep this range bound condition right here, and if we can get above that downsloping line of resistance and start making some higher highs, then we could really see some follow through inside of Avalanche. But it had a huge run, so don't expect it to take off right away. This is a long-term play for me. I'm invested in the ecosystem. I'm farming pangolin. I'm doing a bunch of other things that are involved inside of this ecosystem. But when you have these huge moves up, if it doesn't just go ahead and right away make another huge move up, it's going to reaccumulate. And these reaccumulations take a long time. I'm expecting to be holding this for probably 30 to 60 days before we get some real price momentum, or at least that's what I'm telling myself right off the bat when I'm looking at buying assets like this. It's a downtrend. It needs to prove itself, that it needs to prove to the market that it's not in a downtrend anymore. So it takes time for the market to kind of see these signals. So it's not something that's just about to moon right away, in my opinion. Okay, VidT. That is the decentralized video platform, I believe. A lot of hype on that one. BUSD. Let's go ahead and take a look. Get it out on the daily. I always start out on the daily. So we're in a range-bound condition. These are nice. These are good and favorable places to be if you're looking to accumulate an asset, because that's what's happening here. The reason that we're not going down and the reason that we're not going up is that people are accumulating. There's people buying it, And then there's people buying it thinking that it's going to go up, and then they sell it because it's not, and other stuff's pumping. So we're range bound right now. So let's just mark this area right here. Basically, what you're going to want to see is you need to see the strength come in. So right now, we are going to continue this trend until the trend ends. And right now we're range bound. So there's no reason to rush out and buy this right now. We're probably gonna come down to the bottom. We might come to the top. We're just gonna continue to be range bound until we break that trend. When we break the trend, what you're looking for is that sign of strength. This is not a FOMO buy. This is not where you FOMO into this coin. It's called a sign of strength for a reason. There's going to be a huge move. When you have that sign of strength, there is always a backup. Where that backup comes to, we do not know, but it's only at that turnaround that you would take the position after the backup. So lots of time inside of this one. Keep it on your watch list. What you can do as well is you can set an alarm. So you can just make, to catch the sign of strength. So here is, oops, don't need the line tool. Let me just grab my pointer here. So go to an area that's above the entire consolidation, right click on your parallel channel, or actually no, just go to the toolbar and add an alarm. So as soon as we are outside of the channel, I want to be notified once a day that we are outside of this channel. I'll get a notification. It'll send me a text message saying, hey, VidT is outside of the channel. Then I can go and I can take a look, and if I forget, I'll get a notification every day that tells me that it's outside of the channel. At that point too, you can set another alarm saying that it's back inside the channel. It's entirely up to you, but alarms are very helpful. Alarms are very friendly when you have like 6,000 coins in the ecosystem and you're wondering what to look at, as long as the coin is available on TradingView. Okay, why did ADA stay strong while everything else followed BTC's downtrend? I don't know. There's always anomalies. There's always anomalies. Okay, curious your thoughts on Dash, and if you think from a technical analysis that it could return back to its previous 2018 high. I think that a lot of assets will return to their previous highs. Let's go ahead and take a look at Dash. It's been a while since I've looked at that one. Starting out on the daily. So we have this accumulation range right here. This is the area of concern. We have left this area, so we have our sign of strength. This is what I'm talking about. When we're talking about those signs of strength, they're big moves. Now, if you can catch the break, if you can catch the breakout, that's great. But if you don't catch the breakout, don't chase it. Don't chase it, because these signs of strength, a lot of people sell into strength. So, and we're seeing that inside of Dash. So what you're waiting to see in Dash is that turnaround, okay? So, if we start consolidating down here, if we start forming support at this level, it's not until we get a break above the consolidation that you would take a position inside of Dash. But watch this one, let it develop, watch for those breaks. As soon as you break a high, you can take a position to the long side. But yeah, just monitor this one. You can put a channel around it so that that you can take a position. Let me just show you what I mean. We can set an alarm here. Set a channel, again, alarm. Outside of the channel. And this works both sides. If it falls below, that's also a buying opportunity if you're to the bullish side. Once per bar, boom, we got an alarm set on Dash. I'm not I'll just watch this one. Okay, so since we are in phase A in BTC reaccumulation and we are entering phase B, what is your strategy? So phase A, I'm just trying to figure out what the trading range is. In phase A, the trading range is not defined. Phase A is about finding the trading range. Okay, I feel like a freaking broken record here, but that's all the information. So usually, you have a high, a low, and then a high. So this would tentatively be the trading range. Then throughout phase B, you're observing the respect of the range that you set in A. So you want to see the price action respect the range that you think it's in. If it starts to disrespect the range, it's one of two things. You've either drawn the range incorrectly, or there is the possibility of distribution. So both of those need to be considered. Typically in a bull market, you want to go with that you're reading the chart wrong. You want to understand that distribution kind of needs to be the last thing that you're going to really conclude upon. And if you're observing characteristics in phase B that look like distribution, just make note of them. Don't trade against an uptrend. Don't trade against an uptrend. Just make note that this is an upthrust. The upthrust failed, and that's it. You don't get confirmation of a downtrend, or you don't get confirmation of a distribution until phase D, where it's supposed to leave and it leaves and fails. Distribution is brutal, okay? It is the way it is. But don't get too carried away trying to take a position in phase A or B. A and B is all about collecting information. If you get a move to the upside, it backs up and takes off, well, then you need to maybe realize that you were looking for too much data. But this is stuff that comes along with a lot of practice, and it's one of the reasons that I encourage you to get in any group that does Wyckoff. You can join my group, you can join Tio's group. You just need to have a resource of information where you can ask questions. Asking questions, always ask questions. Don't think that you can do the research yourself. Ask the questions to get that feedback loop going, because when you ask a question and you receive an answer, often that answer comes with other questions as well, and you need to get that feedback loop going so that you can really try to understand this market, understand market cycles, understand trading ranges, so that you can be a stronger trader. And if you join my group, if I have strong traders in my group, it's a very valuable group, so come and be a strong trader in my group. Okay, was here by at any video higher high, may I get a quick summary for Reef? Gotcha on ADA. So I did just cover Reef. You can watch the replay on this stream. That was earlier on in the stream. I covered Reef. It's in an uptrend. It's not going volatile. It's not going parabolic. It's slowly appreciating in value. So there's nothing wrong with that. Take a position in something that is appreciating in value. It's in an uptrend. Okay. DEC. May like it. I think there's a strong hands in this asset. Band. ADA has bullish news. Yeah, ADA has bullish news that they need to deliver on. Okay, they've released the news that they're going to be implementing smart contracts. Now, Cardano is famous for delays. If they delay, there's going to be a dump, okay? There are so many speculators inside of Cardano right now. Cardano is very much so held inside of the retail traders' hands. It's held in what is referred to, in Wyckoff as weak hands. These people are here speculating. They're small retail investors that don't have a lot of sway in the market. And if they see their balances start to go down, they're going to sell. They can't handle the volatility and they're going to capitulate. So, realize that we're in the hands of weak retail investors with Cardano, so you have to proceed with caution. A lot of assets are like that right now, actually. It's not just Cardano. Okay, DEC, let's take a look. Is it on TradingView? Because if not, I'll do it later. DEC. It's on Poloniex. Okay, so another one. We're seeing this. We're seeing things leave their accumulation. Oops, don't need that. We're seeing assets leave their accumulation and they are coming down. Oh, beautiful test, beautiful test, beautiful test. So this is kind of, it was in an oversold condition for a while, made a little bit of a double bottom. You can kind of see that double bottom right there. Sign of strength up here, come down for our test. So we want to hold here. So if we can hold here and make a move up, buy the break of the hold, okay? That's what you're basically looking for. It could come down, so don't be surprised if it comes back inside of the range. Just look at whatever level it begins to develop support on. Take trend analysis into consideration. So here we are on the daily. Maybe you're looking at the hourly. Here, let me just clean up some of these drawings here and watch the trend. Watch the trend. So we're in, this is what a downtrend looks like, okay? Lower highs and lower lows. Eventually you meet a floor and you potentially start making an uptrend. That transition is where you make the entry, okay? That's how you identify the trend change. You can enter at the break, you can enter at the test of the higher low, whatever the case may be. Guys, if you enjoy this content, please leave me a follow on Twitch. I've kind of really started to shift my perspective as far as the value proposition of YouTube. I think that YouTube is just clickbait. It's all just clickbait. And I suck at clickbait. I can't do the clickbait thing. You know, all these YouTubers, they're trying to create videos that get clicks. You know, I can make a video about generating wealth for decades to come, or you know, make yourself a millionaire in 20 or 30 years. You think that's gonna get any clicks? No. The videos that get clicks are how to make $100 a day with this simple strategy, how to do this, you know, one simple strategy to make you a millionaire. Like, those are the ones that get clicks. And it's really unfortunate that, you know, as we progress in these market cycles, that a lot of the new investors, they really get led to slaughter. And that's just, I experienced that firsthand. I educated myself to the contrary, and I really like the way that the algorithm on Twitch is set up, because it's really simple. Most views goes to the top. That's it. Like, if you're here watching me, you're ranking me higher. So thank you for that. I don't need to do clickbait. I don't need to try and trap you. I don't need to lie to you. I don't need to do anything. I can give you really honest opinion. So if you aren't already following me, hit the follow. Okay. Yeah, so, you know, we landed on some really nice support with this asset, as you can see right here. So watch that it holds. I think this is a nice setup. Really nice one. Who said that? Who told me about this one? Where are you? Huzza One Crypto. That's a good call, man. I don't know what it is, but this is the point where you go and back it up with fundamentals. When you see the technical setup, go and do the fundamentals, because, you know, doing the fundamentals first and then waiting for a moonshot can be depressing. Okay, according to your megaphone on ETH, we could still see around a $950 ETH again, and as a spring, and could be still in a bull run, right? Yes, I do think so. Yeah, and you know, bringing ETH down around to that $950, $1,000 level, that's going to be a retracement back to the 21-week moving average, which for a lot of the large players like Bitcoin, well, it's traditionally been Bitcoin, but I wouldn't be surprised if that kind of tradition of bull market continuation goes back to Ethereum as well. We're just looking for information. We're in phase A of our reaccumulation. Phase A, we're not taking a position. If you took profits, good. If you didn't, it may not be the time to take profits. You know, you're looking for more information for continuation to the downside or reaccumulation to the upside. So if we do take another pullback inside of Ethereum down to the 21-week EMA, that is going to be around $950 to $1,000, of which I have an order placed. SXP, that one has been pumping quite a bit. A lot of people lost a lot of money on SXP, so every time I talked about SXP on YouTube, people got angry, but I said that the setup was coming in. I've been talking about SXP as far as its recovery. Dying. Since basically, as soon as we got back into this channel, we got a nice test. I was doing calls in VIP at just over $1. I think I was doing them even sooner than that, and it really started to take off. Didn't manage. I didn't take a position in SXP, but that's fine. You know, I only ever monitor a maximum of 5 positions at a time, and SXP didn't make the cut. But yeah, where are we right now? What do you see? We are on an area of support. So if we take this right here, you know, we're sitting tentatively on some support areas. So if we can hold in this general area and start to print some, you know, knock out some of the highs, I wouldn't be surprised to see us back at an all-time high at around $5 inside of SXP. Very interesting tokenomics on this one, or no, supply characteristics on this one, because you need so many tokens to kind of get their special credit card. And I think those days have pretty much come and gone. But yeah, it's an interesting project. We've had the shakeout, and we're starting to get bullish again on this one, and it's at a good level. You know, this is a retracement. So, are we in a megaphone pattern on side of SXP? Potentially. No, it doesn't really fit nicely. Yeah, it doesn't fit too nice, the megaphone. Yeah. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But, you know, the volatility is increasing inside of an uptrend. So if we hold this area right here as support, you know, and start to trend outside of that, there's your entry right there. Okay, always wait for confirmation. Wait for it to turn around. If you think you're in a bullish trend, you know, you don't have to nail the bottom. You don't have to nail the bottom. Hey, we got some cheers. I know I'm
Sorry
kind of
for the
missing
dash
the
request
cheers.
again. The chart you looked at did not show the 2018 high of $1,600. Do you consider that high when you analyze fib levels / potential short-term pumps?
Okay, the dash request again. The chart you looked at didn't show the 2018 high. Okay, I was probably on the futures chart. Let's go to dash USD. Just gotta cheer for me and then I'll pay attention. Let's see here. Didn't show the 2018 high. What does show the 2018 high? Where do you buy Dash? Tether? Tether have the high? Nope. Who has the high? Bitfinex? Poloniex probably. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, this is nice. This is nice. So, you know, there's potentially a lot more room for the upside inside of Dash. Now, this is a huge accumulation range. And these are beautiful because, you know, when Bitcoin broke through its accumulation range, it started really marking up. The value proposition of privacy coins is not going away. I know that there's been some privacy coin FUD, but, you know, privacy coins, you can't stop cryptos. That's the thing. You know, when people come in and they're like, oh, the regulators are cracking down on crypto. You can't. You can't regulate crypto. That's what makes it so amazing. That's what makes it so beautiful. You can try, you can sue the companies, you can sue the creators, but the crypto's out there, man. Pandora's box is open. People are gonna use it. So let's go down to the change of character. We'll call that our seller's climax. And then from there, we have our automatic rally. Automatic rally right here, top of the rally. Okay. Automatic rally. And yeah, we're just looking to come back down. So this is our sign of strength. I'm gonna keep it really simple, okay? You know, sign of strength right here, boom. We are looking for our backup. Keep an eye on this. This is actually a really good one. Thank you for bringing this up, Messy Tribe. This one's definitely one that needs to be on your radar. Anybody who's on this stream right now, add Dash to your watch list. I'm not saying buy. It hasn't proven itself as a buy yet, and I don't want you to have to stomach any downside, but, you know, it's showing strength after a multi-year accumulation. And we're kind of seeing a lot of these OG cryptos kind of set up this way. We're seeing the same thing inside of Ethereum. We're seeing Litecoin's been doing really well. So a lot of the big coins that have a lot of infrastructure built around them for retail investors to buy them, you're gonna see some stuff kind of, you know, gain momentum. The next real wave of retail investors entering this space, they're not going to buy DeFi coins because they don't know how. They don't know how to run a decentralized exchange with a MetaMask wallet. They don't understand all these different things. They're going to get scared with the proposition of a rug. There's so many factors that are going to contribute to those assets not appreciating as well. But what they will buy is whatever they can. So the stuff that's really accessible, the stuff that's the low-hanging fruit that might be an alternative currency for them, those are the assets that they're going to buy because it's just a click, okay? Dash is still one of those. New follower, thanks guys, how's it going? Okay, what if the world government banned crypto though? They can't. That's the beautiful thing. Go back to the books. Go hit the books, man. They can't. They would have to shut down the internet. They can make it illegal. They can make it illegal, you know, and if you're holding your crypto on an exchange, the exchange can force you to sell. But if you hold Bitcoin and you hold the private keys to those coins and you hold them on a ledger offline or on a paper wallet or whatever, and it becomes illegal, there's nothing they can do. Like, they can strong arm you, but realistically, it's not going anywhere. They have more to lose than they do to gain by just embracing it. Pandora's box has been open. Go hit the books and understand what I'm talking about as to why it can't be shut down. A book that I highly recommend every crypto investor read is The Bitcoin Standard. It's dry. It's better on audiobook. Consume that information. It's a fantastic read. Go read that book. Okay. How are you doing, Rallo 101? So basic attention token. Yeah, so a lot of these, basic attention token is a cool project. It's just kind of far out as far as those types of projects really need full world adoption and understanding of cryptocurrency. And I think that that's kind of like at least a decade away. I'm not saying that you can't make money inside of these assets, because the story is there and it's really easy for people to speculate on these assets. But the reality of a future where basic attention token has true utility, where you're rewarding the creator peer-to-peer, that's a pretty far off concept. The advertising space is really, really prevalent, and it's not necessarily in a position to be bowing down at this point. So, the Facebooks, the Google, all of that stuff, it's really still here. So basic attention token, although great in theory, I think is an idea that's going to take a little while to develop. That's my own personal opinion, and I'm happy to share personal opinions on assets here, but bear in mind, they're just opinions. Okay. We did talk about Cardano, yes, and if you are not already in the free Discord, join the free Discord, because there's a ton of people charting Cardano, and I'm offering feedback on a lot of those charts on the free side. So go and join the free Discord down below. Okay. Join. Oh, is there a command to do that? I'm kind of new to Discord. I don't know what you're doing there, Rallo. But if there's a command, maybe I need to do some sort of integration. I don't know. Did that work? Let me know if that worked. Okay. I think crypto is the infrastructure to the new internet. 100%. 100% agree. I 100% agree with that. We are building Web 3.0. We're building a peer-to-peer network system where trust doesn't matter. It's profound technology. Max Kaiser said it best. It's one of the most profound things that's happened to human civilization since the invention of the printing press. The potential that this technology has is beyond our comprehension. You can try and understand it, but it's like trying to understand the impact that the internet was going to have on the world before anybody knew what the internet was. It's profound. I have my ideas, I have my visions of the future, and they're not even close to the reality that we're gonna see. It's gonna take a long time, but you're here now, so congratulations. Okay, what else do we have here? What else do we have? Cool. Welcome to the Discord. Welcome to the jungle. How long have I been rambling here? Because I do have to get to the virtual classroom at 1. RSR is another one that's been performing well. We had a setup on that one as well. We had a setup here. We had a setup. You should join the group because we have all these setups. I'm sure you're getting sick of hearing that. We offer a lot of value on the free side as well. So, I'm not here to sell you. I'm not here to reach into your pocket and grab your dollars. I offer a ton of value everywhere, or at least I think I do. I try to. That's my goal. RSR, making higher highs, making higher lows. Looks really good. Getting the notification for the virtual classroom. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at Cardano. Let's take a look at Cardano. It's a pretty nice 3-day candle. What do we got on the 4-hour? It's ease of movement, man. We're seeing ease of movement inside of this asset. So what that means, ease of movement, is the amount of effort. This is how you have to interpret volume. If you're looking at charts without volume, whether you understand the volume or not, just put the indicator on. It's a free indicator. It doesn't count as one of your indicators on any of your charts. Just put volume on. and start to look at what volume looks like, because what we're seeing, this is the effort being applied. So volume is the amount of effort, how much buying and selling is occurring at each candle, how much effort is being applied at any particular time, and then what is the result of that effort? And the result of the effort is the price. So if I see a bunch of green candles on low volume, what does that mean? It means that it is very easy to move the price up. There is an ease of movement. And we saw that back here. We had a couple candles and then a pump. You could see the volume was really low right here. The volume was declining as the price was increasing. It's indicating an ease of movement. Then we kind of got to the area of the previous high and supply re-entered the market, and we got an influx in supply. So right now in the short term, the supply is increasing. What we want to see is we want to see a decrease in the volume where the price either stays still or starts to increase. Okay, if it starts to creep lower, it'll probably come back down for another test. But what you want to see is it to kind of just remain flat while the volume subsides, or you want to see it increase while the volume subsides. That would be what's indicated as an EOM, an ease of movement. And these are very powerful indicators that are going to get you ahead of a lot of other traders, because a ton of breakout traders, they're waiting for the volume to come in and they don't see these plays. They don't understand. They're not interpreting the volume correctly. So when they see this stuff, they're just like, well, I mean, we're breaking out, but it's on low volume. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to move the price. There's little effort required to move it. So, these are the little tricks that the Wyckoff method teaches you. Anyways, that is all the time I have for today. If you enjoyed the content, leave me a follow. I do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you are on the fence about joining the island, today is the last day. We are in the final hours. That's it. I'm not going to stop pushing it, okay? But, we're in the final hours here as far as being able to join the island at $15 a month. So if you are at all interested, use the coupon code FOMO, F-O-M-O, and FOMO into my group. That's all the time I got for today. And until next time, please trade safe. It's a jungle.
Man crush, bro.
Peace.
Welcome to my dream. It's good to see you again. We can kick back now. The show has reached the end.